That's what I got for you tonight, and if anyone has any questions for me, I'm always happy to take them.
Any questions? Right?
No, on the flood? Are you gonna do anything with that, or, I mean, it's like 3 years in the making for Eaton Court.
Well, we just started on that one, so are we gonna do something about it? Absolutely.
Paperwork goes back several
Absolutely.
years.
Well,
Several years. In fact, he has copies of it.
But the question is, did I have copies? So now I do, and we are now working on it, and you know, the city grinds slowly,
The guy
right? And we do our best to grind them.
the
So
neighbor had to build the wall because the water was coming up to his house,
right.
8 foot away from him.
Well, when we were here for the last meeting, my chief of staff walked and looked at all of the problems that were brought out at that meeting, so she would be, you know, personally, you know, aware.
They come down and not hit the actual problem, they make a bigger pile so the water gets deeper. Instead of 2 inches, we now have 4.
They have to understand that the solution has to be a solution, not a patch.
Yeah.
And
Patch was wrong.
you know,
They
with
need
that.
a patch.
So we're going to try and make sure that Gotham Avenue is fixed before they break it again, and we'll work on Eaton Court, well, Frank Court, and we've had a couple of other courts brought to our
When we
attention
had
as
the
well.
mailman refuse to deliver the mail out with the ice.
I don't blame.
Yeah.
I don't blame. So we are working on that. We will do our best. Yes.
Would it ever be a possibility for this community to have the same sort of refurbishing that Mill Basin had when they changed the streets and the structure of the streets and the running water stopped going into the, you know, the
You're
creek?
actually talking about Bergen Beach, not...
Oh, Bergen Beach,
right.
yeah, Bergen Beach, and hook it up to the honey plant, so that would mean our streets would have to be repaired, and that would mean our sewers wouldn't be dumping into our creeks. It would be like a double positive situation. Would that ever happen for us?
You know anyone who lives on any of those blocks in Bergen Beach?
No.
Because they're not thrilled. First of all, that project, which I believe Herb Berman had funded, was actually executed in my first days in office, and it's a horrible memory for me because I got so many complaints about what was going on, how it was being done, where they put the blacktop. All of a sudden my curb is 6 inches higher than it was before. All of a sudden my curb is below the street level. Lots of problems with that, so be careful what you wish for. They did not connect any new sewers in Bergen Beach. They reconstructed the streets. Now, we may need to reconstruct the courts. It would be an incredible inconvenience for people to live with, but it may be the only way to have a long-term solution to what happens on the courts. You know, you have to look at where this neighborhood is and what it's built on. Bergen Beach was built on swampland and landfill. In fact, I mean, I wouldn't be excited to put a backhoe into the ground beneath the street in Bergen Beach and test that soil, but that's another story. It sinks. All right? You may have the same predicament here. Now, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a DEP engineer. So I can't tell you whether or not that solution is going to help you for 6 months or 60 years. They need to tell us that. And that's kind of what we're all collectively asking them to do. Don't come in here and throw some blacktop down on Frank Court and go away and think that you solved the problem. All right? Because the problem's on numbers of streets and it's structural. It's not cosmetic. So that's the answer. That's why I say I'm a little frustrated, because we're not really getting those kinds of answers from them yet. And you know, we're looking forward to it, and the Senator's looking forward to it.
I'd like to Diane first.
I just wanted to ask a question about Seba Avenue Park. There's no crosswalk at the park. Like, I live on the other side of the park, so to cross my kids, sometimes I'm waiting there forever because the cars are coming. You know, like down by Kingsborough College, there's a light, but you press the button to, like, it's always green. Right. But when you press the button, it turns red just for you to cross the street. Is there any way that we could just have that, just so we can cross the street?
You'll call my office tomorrow on Gotham Avenue also?
No, I'm not on Gotham.
No? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I thought you were right. Okay.
Because I live right there on Seaver and Canton.
You know, that's something we can ask for. You know, we have been asking for traffic lights in Garrison.
It's not even a traffic light, so just to stop.
But I was saying, this is different.
Right.
So maybe they'll say yes.
Okay, because you know, because I actually just brought my kids to the beach over there, and I thought that was great. It's always green unless you need to cross the street.
All right. It makes sense to me.
Hey, we're going to take that by the school, though.
Well, that's what I said. I just was there. I was like, that's a great light.
How long have we been trying for that? I mean,
Well, you know, we'll take that.
I travel out to Long Island quite often, and in these small towns, they have these yellow cones or something. It's a federal law that you have to yield to the pedestrian in the crosswalk. So even if you get something like that, stick them in the middle of the road.
You know what, I wouldn't be,
Federal law, and
I
if you don't do it, you get a
wouldn't be in
ticket.
favor of that. And I'll tell you why. I mean, what you're saying is perfectly logical and reasonable, and it's the same answer I give when someone asks me for a speed bump, right? Things like that are there for and are paid attention to by people who are obeying traffic laws. The people who don't obey traffic laws, like when you go on a speed bump, you know, they're going to zoom down your block anyway. It becomes a launching pad. It's a problem. So here, I don't want to give someone the false sense of security that because there's a cone in the road, that the same idiot that's flying down Gerritsen is going to all of a sudden stop, as if they've learned how to behave and what the rules of the road are, and get mowed down. So I don't know that that's such a good idea over here. All right, you follow me? I mean,
All right.
I'm gonna make it easy, I'm probably the only one that told me it's gonna do it. And I believe it was you, Marty, and Alan got together or something, and somehow paved that whole Garrison area over, okay? By doing that, I don't know how many people realize it, but our houses stopped running. People that were aware of that? My house used to shake like that. And now since they paved that street, the buses run, everything runs, the house is as calm as we go.
Mine too.
I wish the answer were as simple for the courts.
Yeah, no, I realize
I wish it were.
I just want to bring it up that whatever it did, it
Well, we always like to hear good news, so.
Any other questions, anything?
I'd like to know where he lives on Gerritsen.
No, I live on Astor Court, 1 block in.
Close to the,
Was it
I
disaster?
live on Gerritsen, and I'm across from the school I moved.
Kay
I'm a little
O'Donnell,
late,
did they pave up as far as your house? I thought they stopped
Oh,
short
it
of
looks
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It just doesn't slow up anybody who wants to hurry by and, you know.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about fine, I'm talking about the house.
Yeah, well, yeah, we have it with big trucks, anyway.
Okay.
Anybody else?
That's it?
Okay.
Thank you.